Surprise bill? Need fast funds? CashNet USA can help. When you need money fast, be the hero.
Apply in minutes at cashnetusa.com and get a fast decision. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times.
Pacifico is a Mexican lager brewed to be discovered. It's like fresh tracks on a powder day. Like that uncharted trail a stone's throw away. Like the perfect wave on a sunny day. Pacifico. Find your own way. 21 plus. Drink responsibly. Imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Uh-oh, the bitch is here. Who is it? Is it you? Is it me? Welcome, everybody, to Who's the Bitch? My name is Jackie Zabrowski.
Soft launching our new theme song is Jackie Zabrowski, and I'm Kara Klink over here on the other mic. Hi, how you guys doing?
You know, it's difficult because I think I start almost every other show that I do with singing. So you just pointed at me to start the show, I was like, I don't know how to start a show without singing.
I love it.
So sometimes...
Well, yeah, actually, our live stream, you're always like, get your balls up. You do your little get your balls up
I love
song.
singing everybody in, you know? It's like, come on in. Let's sit down.
Freestyle.
Yeah, and get your balls up. Even though we're just drinking. Well, I'm drinking coffee. You don't drink coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
You're not
Sorry.
a coffee bitch.
This episode's coming out on May 28th. I cannot believe we are getting to be almost halfway through this fucking year. It's crazy.
Don't say that.
It's just...
Everybody was screaming. We were just doing, my husband works in the world of horror, and everybody was doing their halfway to Halloween shows. And I was like, halfway to Halloween? What are you talking about?
Well, my kids are always like... thinking about what they're going to be for Halloween.
What are they going to be for Halloween this year?
Last year my daughter was Eevee from Pokemon, right? And now this year she probably wants to be Pikachu. Like, she's so obsessed with Pokemon right now. And I was telling you about this before we got on the mic. So in the space of a week, she went to a Pokemon party. We brought our friend's kid with us. They had a Pokemon album. In the space of a week, she
has a music album?
No. It's like a baseball card album, and then you put all your cards in it.
Oh, I thought it was like, it's like, I love to sing. It's like, I don't want to hear what Pikachu has got to sing.
What's Pikachu's first single? It's like, I want to try and catch me if you can.
I'm
bitch.
yellow and I suck dick.
Yeah. Well, it's also a pornographic Pokemon album.
Yeah.
So I took her to a yard sale last weekend. There was a box of Pokemon cards for $500. $500. So she has a huge Pokemon collection of crappy used cards.
Does she play the games? Or she just like to look at
She just started playing the game with my husband. In a week, this has developed this obsession. I mean, she always has liked the Pokemon characters, but now the card thing. And I swear to God, she just comes up to me now constantly and goes, so this is Raichu and his damage power is, and I shut off because I do not care. And I know that I have to literally be a good mom and go, wow, that's awesome. But I feel like she can tell. It's like talking about sports. I don't care. I don't care what that guy's record for home runs is or batting averages. I don't know anything. I don't care. I don't care about Pokemon. I'm too old, I think, for Pokemon. I didn't ever do it.
What was your thing? Did you have something that was always and forever your thing?
Not really. I had little things. I really liked reading. I loved the Sweet Valley High books.
Loser!
Yeah. I liked Sweet Valley High books. I liked dance. I did dance. I liked being in plays. I don't know. I never was a collectible person.
Okay.
I thought I wanted to be. And at one time I wanted to start a snow globe collection. I go, I want snow globes. Everywhere I go, I'm going to get a snow globe. I didn't go that many places. I'm from a family of 6 kids. We don't travel that much. So my snow globe collection was fucking so shitty and small. So I had...
We'll also have to show you our snow globe collection at some point.
I had 4, and then I was I give up. Then my sister started collecting Absolute Vodka ads. Do you remember that shit?
Oh.
We papered our whole bedroom in Absolute Vodka ads.
Whoa.
Because it was Absolute.
Your parents let you do that?
We didn't even know what vodka was. It was Absolute. Well, let me tell you, this is actually funny. It was there'd be Absolute Pride. It'd be a rainbow one, or Absolute Manhattan or something like that. Absolute Rome. And but it would be like a fountain shaped like a Motorino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there was like, this was the whole thing. It was like one of the most genius ad campaigns for Absolute Vodka. And we collected those and we papered our room with them. And then my parents got 3 bottles of Absolute Vodka. They got an Absolute Current, an Absolute Citron, and an Absolute Vodka.
Wow, you remember.
As a gift.
Okay.
And they gave them to my sister and I to put on our desk as decoration. Because we're probably at this point in like 7th and 5th grade.
Oh, no.
And then those bottles of vodka just sat on our desk for a few years until, guess what? 9th grade, I start drinking.
Yeah, of course you start drinking them.
I start emptying out those bottles out and replacing them with water. And then at one point when I was like, maybe in college, my mom goes, oh, we're having a party. Would you guys bring those Absolute Vodka bottles down? I go, Mom, those are filled with water, you dumb bitch.
Yeah, they've been filled with water for a long time.
You try to hydrate your guests? Because that's what's happening.
Vodka, mother, it is the easiest thing to fill the bottle with water. What are you talking about?
And it's like the gateway. It felt like screwdrivers were like the first thing I started drinking. And I was just like, oh, this tastes horrible, but like, let's just
gonna keep going.
Like,
I think about the plastic bottles of Pop-Off vodka. How
Oh my
many
God.
of them we had. And it's like, again, thinking of just taking a sip of something that comes from a plastic bottle now kind of makes me want to shudder into next week.
even Absolute Vodka tastes kind of like shit. If you're like older and you can kind of like, if you can afford a Grey Goose or like a little bit of a nicer vodka, Tito's even. I love Tito's.
A Melee vodka, everyone. Oh, Jason Momoa's vodka.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh.
Melee vodka.
One of the moms in my mom group was just selling a bottle of it, and I clocked.
Great.
Is it good?
Great. Oh, it's really good vodka.
I should have bought it.
It is very good vodka.
She was selling it for a song. Okay, well, anyway, like that stuff's like not even that good. But like that kind of stuff maybe we would collect. But even then, that was like my sister. I was just not a big collectible person. I wasn't writing fan letters to any bands or anything like that. I just wasn't. My interests were always bopping around.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm so bored with my daughter talking about the fucking Pokemon. So if anyone has any tips on how I can go, sounds great. They have good damage. I got to go make dinner. Like, I don't know.
I just feel bad because soon you're going to get into the world of all the Pokemon stuffies. And then you're going to have to because there's like a lot of them, it seems like.
But people say that the kids kind of drop these things. Like, she was obsessed with Paw Patrol a few years ago, and now she's over that, you know?
I don't know. I feel like she's starting to hit the ages where it starts to stick a little bit more.
But I got her the album, and so now she's organizing them. This has all happened in a week.
That's crazy.
She went from having 3 Pokemon cards that friends gave her at school to now having a collection of about 80 that are in an album that I got for her, like, cheap.
And she's so cute and she's so smart. And I imagine she's just telling you
me so many stats. And she just talks to me like I get it. And I'm like, I don't get it. And I have no interest in getting it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just saying this to let all the other parents out there know.
Let it out.
You don't have to fucking like the stuff that they're liking.
No.
I literally love Bluey. I'm into that. I know all the characters. I like the stuff
they're very
that
cute.
they like, that I like, but I don't like that stuff.
No, and you can't make them like anything you want. Because, that's the worst part that I've heard is that when you have a child, you can't just mold them and make them be the doll that you want them to be. And turns out they're like,
I showed them
Pee-wee.
I showed them Pee-wee and they loved it, but they're not like going back to it. Like it hasn't settled in as like an obsession.
Damn, because that's a really good obsession to try and like get them to be into.
Yeah.
Because like we were obsessed with the Muppets. That's a forever. I'm always and forever a Muppets fan, and that to me, transcends time and space.
Yeah,
you should start playing on the Muppets. Although I guess maybe the Muppets are.
No, I would love them to watch the Muppets. They just are just getting into more live actiony stuff. Even though I know Muppets are puppets, like just the stuff that's not fully animated,
right?
But I'm going to show them the Muppets.
Yeah, get it in
for
there.
For sure.
At least move away from Pokemon. I just remember the only thing I know about Pokemon is that y'all know I hate video games, but I really liked Pokemon Snap. And I don't know if there's a way for her to still be able to, I don't know if you can still play.
Pokemon Snap?
Pokemon Snap was you had a camera and you went to go look for the Pokemon. And when you would see them, you'd have to take a picture.
Oh, like Pokemon Go, but instead of
No, but Pokemon Go, I think you're like capturing them in their ball or something. Like you put the thing out like Ghostbusters, right?
It's so funny that you're saying Snap because over the weekend, I go, do you guys want to take a walk? And they're always like, no. And I go, let's take a walk. Let's find a mystery in our neighborhood and solve it. And Rosie was like, fuck yes. I mean, she looked at me with like intensity. And I got her this little kid digital camera for her birthday. So I go, you know what you should do? take your camera and take pictures of clues. And she goes, oh my God. I thought she was going to die. She was so happy.
God, that's such a good
so
idea.
We leave our house and immediately we hear a mariachi band playing at a party somewhere nearby. And we're like, we got to find where that band is.
Yeah.
So we start walking up the street, checking. She keeps going, I got to get a snap of this. And she's just taking photos. She's taking photos of like fucking, and then she's taking videos of herself going, okay, this is the mystery team update. And she's literally like so into it. And she just kept saying, I got to take a snap of this. And so when you said Pokemon Snap, she would absolutely
She might need
love
Pokemon
that.
Snap. Just saying.
Does she have to do it on a phone? She's going to want my phone.
No, I mean, I'm telling you, I played this 20 years ago, so I don't know if this still exists, but I just love it because then you would be rated on how good the photo is. And it had nothing to do with you're not killing anything, you're not going after anything. I just liked it because I would smoke weed and be like, oh, I see a SNES store. I got a fucking...
Pokemon Snap for Nintendo Switch brings the gameplay of the 1999 Pokemon Snap game to the Nintendo 64.
There you go, everybody. Get you. Why do we have to kill and why do we have to go against when we can just take pictures instead?
Pokemon Snap.
That is more my speed.
Don't ever tell her about this. She's going to ask me for a Switch and she's not getting one.
Oh, she's going to want to play this game. I'm going to hold this over your head and I'm not going to tell her about it yet
until I do something fucked up. All right, let's get into our unsolicited advice. We've got a fun one to talk about today because you brought this up before the podcast and I don't think you knew my feelings were so intense on the subject.
No, and that subject is Tom Cruise. And I loved the light that entered your eyes, Kara, when I said, what are your feelings about Tom Cruise?
And I will say that I'm pretty agnostic about most like celebrities, unless they're like the people on the bitchometer, unless they're like really like fucking obvious. But most actors and stuff, I'm like, I don't really love their work, but I'm not like, fuck that guy. I hate Tom Cruise.
Why?
I don't like Tom Cruise.
Okay.
I find his whole persona to be creepy. He makes my skin crawl.
Yeah.
I'll go so far as to say I have not watched a movie with him in decades. Like people will go like, you got to see the new Top Gun. And I'm like, oh, it's a Tom Cruise movie. I'm not going to go see it. Like I won't go see movies that he's in. I'm not impressed by the stunts. I don't care about Mission Impossible. I don't like it. I mean, I'm not going to get into the Scientology of it all too deeply, but I do feel he's the figurehead of a abusive religion.
How do you feel about the marriage contracts? Do you feel that there's any truth in the marriage contracts?
I feel really great about those. Yeah. I feel strongly. I think that sounds...
That's like my favorite part about him. I think that sounds like
a great way to start a relationship.
Yeah.
No, I think it's like all combined into this really crazily, meticulously curated image that he has that comes across so fake and plastic to me. And just like the fact that we are all just like, yeah, one of our most beloved movie stars makes his wife sign like NDAs or like Nicole Kidman, I guess, doesn't say that much, but it's pretty obvious that she got the fuck out of there. Katie Holmes had to stage a coup to get her daughter out. And luckily her dad was a fucking lawyer and could help her orchestrate that. And now we like playfully talk about who he might be locking lips with. And it's like, he traps women in relationships and he is the face. And whether or not he knows everything that's going on in Scientology, which I do believe he does. But even if he doesn't and they keep that away from the celebrities that are involved, find out. Find out what's going on. They're like ripping families apart. They're chasing people. There's violence. And you're just the guy that's like on the cruise ship going, I'm Thetan level 10. Good for me. Like, I'm just like not down with him at all.
No, I completely understand. How do you feel about, we talk about often on page 7, the fact that he most likely has sex with fish. Have you looked into any of this at all?
No, what are you talking about?
Oh, Kara Clank. I can't believe I'm introducing this idea to you for the first time.
Is this someone like in the next chapter of the book of Celebrity Lore next to Richard Gere and the Gerbils?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, I have not heard.
Oh, wow. This has been being discussed for quite a long time.
Are we talking about like a largemouth bath?
So
how do you get your dick into a fish?
There are multiple there are sources. Many sources that have said that people have seen him going to, like, for example, one time.
Allegedly, we're not getting sued.
Allegedly, he went to a fish a fish counter, asked for a whole fish, asked for them to wrap it up. The person that saw him get the fish at the counter watched him, which I think my biggest issue of why most likely this isn't true is the fact that he went to the bathroom at the grocery store. And I can't imagine Tom Cruise ever going into the bathroom of a grocery store.
I can't imagine Tom Cruise going into a grocery store to get anything for himself.
I know, but he went into that bathroom with said wrapped up fish, left the bathroom without said fish. Person went into the bathroom afterwards, found said fish unwrapped, open in the trash. What did he do with the fish? Here's the thing, Kara. There are multiple
I'm so scared where this is
stories that say that he does weird things with large format fish, but nobody knows what he's doing with them. There are stories about him excitingly sending in his driver when he's at a limo, and then the driver brings out a wrapped whole fish to the back of his limo. Guys, I need everyone to know, I am saying this with about 20 million pounds of grains of salt, but I think it is the funniest conspiracy theory known to mankind that Tom Cruise has sex with fish. And why does he do it? Is it to stay young? It might just be because currently Tom Cruise is saying, when asked when he's going to stop, like when is he going to retire?
He has sex with dead fish. I'm going to be honest with you. At the beginning, I thought maybe he was having sex with like live fish because of like a suctioning.
Well, this is the thing. In the mouth or in the gills, Kara?
Oh God!
Mouth of the gills. My question for you.
That. That's so
in horrific. The mouth or in the gills? I just he's not cutting the ass off the fish.
I did not think about.
I'm here to help you. Think about what's important.
This is absolutely ruining my day, possibly my week.
Yeah, it's definitely. I hope that it is, and I hope that you think about it next time you order a whole format fish when you go to like a fancy restaurant.
May I ask? Fish have teeth.
Some.
Yeah, but I just Googled it. It says most fish have teeth.
So you think through the gills?
But, oh my God. I just was wondering, when you order a whole fish at a supermarket, does it have its teeth or have they removed the teeth?
Can you pull each tooth out for me? I'd like to watch you do it.
Teeth?
I guess. I don't usually stick my fingers in there.
I never order a full fish. I've eaten a full fish. Like,
are you a pesky?
Yeah, I am a pescatarian.
You're a pesky. Okay.
So I've eaten like on a vacation to Colombia. We went to this place where we had like, where they gave you bone-in fish and you had to just like, but I didn't really focus on the mouth because there's no like meat around the mouth. I wasn't like going to eat the mouth.
Yeah.
So
I just thought that part of you hating Tom Cruise so much, I thought part of it was because he had sex with whole dead fish.
Helping.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it would.
This isn't helping at all.
And surprisingly, that's not why I brought Tom Cruise up.
I mean, I'm going to just have to.
I didn't realize you didn't know that I was obsessed with this conspiracy theory.
Like, you said that upstairs when we were talking about what we're going to talk about today. You were like, I think Tom Cruise just like has sex with fish. And I go, yeah, whatever. Like, because I thought you were just meant like, he's a fucking weirdo. Yeah. Like, he doesn't have sex. Like, I could see him being asexual. Like, honestly, there's a lot of rumors forever that he's gay.
Yes, yeah.
I think if he was gay, we probably would have heard more stories that we've heard about other closeted gay stars of like, people that are like, oh yeah, I've like blown him in an alley or whatever.
I don't think he gets hard.
I bet he doesn't get literally asexual because like fame and like success is kind of like all he's programmed to
care about
and care about. And like, so that's another reason for me. It's like, you don't seem like a human. You seem like a robot.
Next Level Pet people will do anything for their dogs. That means treating them with next level protection from parasites with NexGard Plus, afoxolaner, moxidectin, and parental chewable tablets. NexGard Plus chews provide one and done monthly protection against fleas, ticks, heartworm disease, roundworms, and hookworms, all in a tasty beef-flavored chew. Used with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Dogs should be tested for existing heartworm infection prior to starting a preventive. Ask your vet about NexGard Plus Chews.
So, you just started using LinkedIn Premium. Now what? Well, on your premium company page, you noticed around 7.5 times more page engagement and 5 times more page views. Well done. And now, new clients are messaging you. All because you're using LinkedIn Premium, which helps you get the business growth you want. Think big, small business. Think big. Start Start your free trial at linkedin.com/premium small business. That's linkedin.com/premium small business.
Yes, and think of his going above and beyond because he doesn't want to age. It makes me think of the dude, that Brian Johnson guy, the man that wants to live forever on Netflix. That it's like he does everything in his power, that every single second of every single day is about he needs to live forever. But then you look at a picture of him, like he doesn't look that much younger than what his actual age is.
Yeah.
And I feel that way when you look at Tom Cruise, where I know that like he has the best of the best work done, but it's like it's like, bro, you're still 62. And he's saying now that he will never stop making films. He wants to make films into his 100s and that is what he is destined to do. And of course, in this whole like Mission Impossible PR stunt right now, they're like, but does he want to kiss Ana de Armas? Which I think is so forced.
I mean, the way that they're always auditioning new wives for him is like so crazy.
For him. But I was asking Henry about this. Is Jared, because Henry is rewatching all the Mission Impossibles, and I was like, do you like them? I feel like
Jared does.
But that's the thing. It makes me think of when we were talking about Jack Reacher and the huge like accessibility of men that love Jack Reacher. And I watched it. I'm like, do men really like this? And then I watch it and I talk about this and like lots of people are like, yeah.
No, and internationally, it's just like Tom Cruise is the American star. Like, I just think he's the number one.
I've just literally never wanted to kiss Tom Cruise. And everything about my everything has always been like pushed forward because of my horniness. And he's never interested me.
Doesn't do it for me either. Me also on Leonardo DiCaprio. Never.
Really?
Never. No, I have no interest. It's
get it now. I do. I see my interest was more like Growing Pains, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Exactly. When I was a kid, to me, he's always looks like that.
Exactly.
And he's that forever.
Exactly.
When he was Growing Pains, Leo, I was like, oh my God, he was on my wall. I was like obsessed.
He was my
I wanted to
everything.
kiss him when I was 13.
Yeah,
and then it's gone away because I just feel like he didn't change. His looks haven't changed enough from when he was like 13.
Yeah.
For some reason for me. Anyway. Yeah, anyway. Why are we bringing up Tom though? With the Mission Impossibles, people love. My husband, my husband, Jared Logan, by the way, a comedian, has a great joke on one of his albums where he talks about Tom Cruise and how he's like, I love the Mission Impossible movies. You guys should go buy this album so you can, he only has two. Go listen to them. And it's on one of them. I can't remember which. Where he's like, Tom Cruise is so good at like jumping out of planes and dodging gunfights and slipping underneath lasers or whatever. That's the best. When you watch those Mission Impossible movies, I'm like, fuck yeah, go Tom Cruise. But then they'll always put a scene in those movies where Tom Cruise is hanging out with friends. And those don't work.
No, they do not work.
Be like,
they don't.
Because he's just like, ha ha ha, we're having fun. Like
I
he's
am a
such
human
a robot.
man.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm butchering my husband's joke, but it's like a better joke, but like it's so true. Like I don't
doubt it. That was the joke. Everybody knows Jared Logan can't write a joke.
I don't want to see him make out with somebody. I don't want to see a sex scene. I don't want to see him having fun with friends. I guess people want to watch him jump out of a plane, have at it.
No, I feel like he's carved out of stone, but it is crazy to me. And I can't be alone in the fact that I feel like watching the PR for him go through Mission Impossible makes me, I'm just like, because he's just like, I am America's golden boy.
Yeah.
Even though you're totally not America's golden boy, but you just really, in your brain, you truly are. But watching the discourse about Tom Cruise working forever and still wanting to do all the action stuff and still like, you're never going to stop him. And everyone's like, oh my God, Tom Cruise, did you see? Brave. He'll keep going. Do you know he does the stunts? And it's all of this like pro Tom Cruise. And I know that we don't need to compare Nicole Kidman's career to Tom Cruise. Obviously, they were together for like 12 years. And, we know that she had a marriage contract, even though there's a lot of this stuff. It can never be discussed because of all the NDAs.
We're going to get such a juicy biopic about him when he's dead, don't you think?
I cannot wait.
Don't you think?
I want all of it. I want all of the information because he has his fingers in so many pies. Because the discussion about Nicole Kidman as she ages of just like, it is simultaneously, of course, there's the people like us that are like, kafaha, yes, get it, bitch. But so much of it is like, but is she so old that maybe her lips should be sewn together because maybe breathing is far too young of a thing that she should be doing? And so much of the discourse is about how she's too old to be doing what she's doing. And it's so glaringly apparent the differences of how we discuss aging for people that specifically only think of it as binary gender, of like how a woman is supposed to be and how a man is supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like Tom Cruise, keep jumping out of those planes until you're 104, baby. And then with Nicole Kidman, it's like, wrap it up, girl. You're 55.
Girl, stop kissing.
Wrap it up. Stop. Ew. It's like women cannot do anything right.
I know, and I know there's nothing, it's not like a scintillating who's the bitch when it comes to this. It really just is so insane that you can think we've come so far in so many ways.
Yeah.
And then it's stuff like that where it's just like, guys, my God, like it makes me, I liken it to like Katy Perry when she talked about many, many years ago when Stevie Nicks was like, Katy Perry was like, well, how do you know who your rivals are? And Stevie Nicks was like, we're all women working together. Why are you?
Yeah.
She's like, get off the internet and maybe you'll stop thinking about who your rivals are and what the internet is telling you who your rivals are supposed to be, when we could all just lift each other up instead.
Right.
And she just like read the fuck out of her, which love it, Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks, ultimate bitch. I mean,
you can hate Baby Girl. You can dislike the movies that Nicole Kidman is making, but it's just being a part of the conversation of she's too old to be doing it. It's so exhausting.
There's also just like no question to me. Nicole Kidman is like winning Oscars and is like vowing to work with female directors and has like worked with something like 20 something female directors in the past 8 years.
Yeah.
She's uplifting female stories. She's doing so much like amazing work. And you don't have to like everything. And you could say I don't like the wigs she wears because some of her wigs are fucking not good.
Yes.
But Tom Cruise is jumping out of a fucking plane over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, okay, listen, I know there's Magnolia and I know he's made like some great movies that people love, but like, I don't think that their careers even really like hold a candle to each other. I think she does such much more impressive work to me, in my opinion.
Right.
You know? And, yeah, like, I don't know, a Top Gun remake, is that like changing the world? I think like, Nicole Kidman's like telling, like she was in this movie Lion that I thought was amazing. I mean, she's like telling stories that I think are like important. And I don't necessarily think a sequel to Top Gun is important.
Kara, he flies in a plane.
I know. He can the plane goes vroom, vroom, zoom, zoom.
Yes, and he's going very fast. And man, sometimes apparently he would talk to Glenn Powell when they were on set together. And isn't that insane? It's just Tom Cruise has always annoyed me just because you can tell he thinks he's God's gift. Oh, I'm sorry, Spaghetti Monster's gift. L. Ron Hubbard's gift. Yeah, he thinks that he is
L. Ron Hubbard's gift to the world.
Yes, and I just take it back. I'd rather the coconut cake. The only thing I care about Tom Cruise about is the coconut cake.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I care about. I know that it's not that far from us. We could get the coconut cake delivered and we could try the coconut cake. But I feel like that's the only thing I want to keep ethereal, you know?
I have heard from people that have worked with him that he's incredibly
nice. Of course.
And
he's
good.
So diplomatic. He's a diplomat.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows what he has to be. He is a structure.
I just think there's something creepy. Like, I bet you he like goes home and like has a smash room or something. Like, I don't know. I think there's got to be a way he lets out his anger or his other emotions that you don't see him ever having in real life. And like he's just a creepy to me. I don't know. That's all. I'm just not going to go see his movies because I think he's creepy.
Even thinking back to like the Katie Holmes, we all remember the jumping on the couch because he was so in love. Everything about him is so tailored and structured that it grosses me out how like a Hollywood shill can just be that 100% of the time.
And when he did the whole Brooke Shields interview and he talked about, you know, how women shouldn't be on antidepressants because he doesn't fucking know anything. But that's part of the doctrine of his religion. Like, I think that was when he got a taste of like, you better shut up because people don't like what you're saying. And if you want to keep being Mr. America's sweetheart, you got to shut the fuck up. And he hasn't really spoken out about anything really since.
Nope.
Yeah. So now we just get Mr. Plastic Man jumping out of planes.
And that's why we're
Good
still talking about him having sex with
Mission Bitch Possible. Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, that's enough talking about Tom Cruise. For now, let's get into our solicited advice.
Please.
I'm going to start out by playing a little voicemail. And as always, you can reach us at who'sthebitch.com. That's how you can leave a voicemail. You find our phone number, our email. You can follow us at who'sthebitchlpn on Instagram for to leave us a DM or hear bitchlets and different various content that we post on there. All right, first voicemail.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hey guys, my name is Wade. I'm from Australia and I really require your assistance. So I have a sister, long story short, 10 years of mental health issues. So we've all really tried to be there for her. She's almost 30 now. Can't hold down a job, lives with my mum. We have to walk around eggshells at family gatherings to kind of walk around her mood and temper. A bit of a background on me. So my husband's a doctor. I work in banking and study law. And anytime any discussion turns to my life or what's going on in my sphere, I feel kind of guilty and I just try to downplay what's going on in my life. I don't really want to kind of rub in that things are going well because I'm cognizant of the fact that, you know, she's struggling. So all that aside, I recently found out that she was in debt to a drug dealer and has convinced my dad to bail her out. Now, a bit of backstory there. My mum and my dad, they're no longer together. They're still friends. They're amicable. But I found out about this situation yesterday and I don't know, this is kind of a last straw for me. One, I think it jeopardizes my mum's security. Like my sister lives with my mum and if she's in debt to drug dealers, there's what's to stop someone from rocking up at the house and trying to just take shit to pay for an outstanding debt. They're not known to go through the regular channels. And also a bit selfishly kind of impacts my future career. Maybe I'm catastrophizing this a little bit, but, I'm studying law. I have an interest in, prosecution or something like that. Or, and it just, I don't know, maybe I'm spiraling on that one. Anyway, my dad won't tell my mum because basically he doesn't want to get into shit. And look, to be fair to him, my mum does have a tendency to overreact. Anyway, I spoke to him today and I was trying to explain why I think he should tell her. And it kind of puts me in a very awkward spot to, hold this secret, but at the same time worrying that if something did happen, I would never forgive myself if I didn't actually say anything. So I'm kind of stuck in a situation. I couldn't convince him to tell my mum. He knows that I'm leaning very much more on the side of wanting to tell her. And now I'm kind of, I don't know what to do. Who's the bitch here? And is my sister the bitch? I understand she's got issues, but she just constantly makes really bad decisions. Is my dad the bitch for kind of bailing her out yet again and not really telling everyone what's going on so we can't be on the same page to try and figure this out? Am I the bitch? Am I overthinking this? Am I catastrophizing this? Yeah, just want to know what you guys' opinions are. Thanks.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That is
so
some
much,
thunder
Wade.
from down under. Sorry to make a joke, but that is a crazy situation. It really is a crazy situation.
It is.
I'll just say up top, I don't think you need to worry necessarily about your professional career. I think there are plenty of lawyers out there who have family members who get involved with illegal situations. And I don't think that's I think you're absolutely right in being worried about your mom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. And I feel that, at the end of the day, mental health struggles are the bitch. Addiction is the bitch. And I do think that this is a very difficult situation and that I don't think anyone is really being the bitch outside of especially mental health and addiction struggles. This is such a tricky situation. And I am so sorry that you find yourself that with all of this on you, because there's times like this when it's just not fair.
Yeah.
Where you're like, I didn't do this. Why is this falling back on me?
Yeah.
But it does seem like your mom needs you to step in with this, and she doesn't even know it yet. I think that this is something that, because it is a dangerous situation, I personally would probably, in talking to my father, would most likely say, if you don't tell her, I'm going to.
Yeah.
This needs to be discussed. I'm not even telling you that you shouldn't do it. I'm not telling you that you can't do it, but this needs to be discussed regardless of. Now, you just said sometimes your mom will take things over dramatically. If there's a way in which you and your dad could talk, because I know they're not together anymore, that you guys could figure out, how can we broach this subject so we can discuss this? Because she needs to know what's going on inside the house.
Yeah, I agree. And like, listen, we are not addiction specialists. We're not mental health specialists in any way. So I definitely would encourage that if you don't already, that there's addiction counselors and people that you can go to.
And please reach out to
walk
support
through
groups
situations like this, because I'm not saying that, I mean, I don't know. It's like, there's all this things that you just read about of hitting rock bottom and this and that. But I do think that what your dad is doing is enabling her. If she finds out that he's going to bail her out once, she's going to go in for more the next time. It's going to keep happening. I don't think famously people only get indebted to drug dealers one time. I think this is going to keep happening over again and again. If
she
something doesn't stop it. If your dad doesn't say, this time I'm not giving you the money. And in that case, that endangers your dad even more. But that's sort of maybe like a rock bottom that your sister has to hit, but it can't endanger your mom. So maybe it's like your sister has to go somewhere else. Your sister has to go into a treatment program, or she has to do something. But it's totally what you said in here is that, is my dad the bitch for bailing her out and not telling everyone what's going on so we can be on the same page to try and figure this out? I wouldn't maybe say bitch, but I would say, yeah, your dad is stopping you guys from really working as a united front to help your sister. And I know that kind of probably can feel to your sister like you guys are ganging up on her or whatever, but there shouldn't be secrets. There shouldn't be secrets where one parent knows one thing and the other one doesn't. You guys need to work
especially
together.
While she's living there.
Yeah, work together and know everything that's going on, so that you can work to help her and all decide to make these decisions the same way. Your dad is depriving your mom of the ability to make a decision about her own safety right now.
And the freedom to take care of herself.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how you feel about a person in that situation. It's necessary to discuss these things. And, you can't force anyone to get the help that they need. And you can't make your sister do anything that she doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
But she's also who I'm really thinking about in this situation, because I feel so bad for you, Wade, that you have to go back and forth between your parents trying to figure this out, trying to make sure everyone is safe. And I'm sure there's a lot of anger that you have towards your sister for putting you into this situation, which is completely valid.
Yeah.
And this is a very difficult situation to be put in. And sometimes you get to a point where you're like, I don't want to help you anymore.
Yeah.
And that is such a scary place to get to, especially when you have people with addiction, struggling with addiction in your family, because you're like, but then who's going to help? Then where do they go? Yeah. And so I do understand your father. I mean, I would feel that I would want to help someone in a situation like that if I could. So I definitely don't think he's being like you said, the word isn't bitch.
Yeah, and you're not it sounds like your dad knows you're going to tell her. Your dad's kind of just I don't want to be the one to do it. So I think you got to do it. And that's that. And I don't think you're a bitch for doing it.
Tell him you're doing it.
Tell him you're doing it. And like Jackie said, I would say definitely try to talk to her together and go, listen, this has come to our attention. We thought you needed to know because of safety issues. What should we do next? Let's get your mom to focus on the plan rather than the reaction and the catastrophizing and the freaking out or whatever her normal big reaction is. It's well, what's the next plan? How did she get involved with this guy? Do we need to... I don't know. I don't know what the next step is, but that's I don't know. That involves a lot of specifics about your situation that we don't know, but I definitely think you're correct. Your instinct to tell your mom is correct.
Yes, please let us know how it goes. And I hope that everybody is safe and that you guys get through this together. And I hope that eventually in time your sister gets the help that she needs.
Yeah. No debts to drug dealers. Just you pay them if you have the money. And if you don't, That's no debts.
I
no
think
debts.
that we are both two people that don't struggle with drug addiction.
I know. But I'm just like, why are drug dealers giving out IOUs?
Because
Stop.
Because they're
I know, because they want addicts
Kara,
to keep.
That's what they do.
Right. It makes me upset. I'm like, stop. Only do it if they have the money, drug dealers.
I mean, look at credit card. What about all the people in the world with credit card debt?
You're right.
And it's like, yeah, sometimes it's actual bills, but sometimes it's like, it's not.
Yeah.
As someone that had to struggle with a lot of credit card debt that I just drank.
Sure.
So
magic money, baby.
Magic money.
I know it. I know how it goes.
Scared of all of it.
Instacart is here to keep you on the couch this basketball season. With pre-game rituals and post-game interviews, it's hard to find time for everything else. Let Instacart handle your game day snacks or weekly restocks with delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Because it's bad luck to be hungry on game day. Download the Instacart app today and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply for 3 orders in 14 days. Excludes restaurants.
All right, Jackie, read this next email that we have.
You've got...
Hi, ladies. I adore you both. I'd like to know if I'm the bitch for not mending the relationship with my parents. I'm the oldest daughter, 33, with a younger brother, 30, and we've always been pretty close. My parents, my husband and I, and my brother and his wife normally take a cruise together every year. But on this last one, my husband and I participated in a game called Love and Marriage, which is similar to the Newlywed Game. We had a great time, but when the show was over and we exited the theater, we saw my parents walking away from us. When they saw us, my father flipped us both birds and said, "Fuck you both," and continued to walk away.
Oh my.
I was in shock and pretty embarrassed since this was in front of a full theater of people exiting. My brother and his wife were not sure what could have caused that reaction. The only thing I can think of was a question about which of my family members my husband would send to the moon for $1 million, and my husband said my mom. But they previously had a joking relationship. The next morning, my sister-in-law sent a text saying that they weren't taking sides and wanted to just enjoy the cruise. For the remainder of the cruise, my parents didn't look at me or my husband or speak to us, which I hate to say essentially ruined the cruise as we had dinner reservations with everyone every night. I was devastated, and my husband was pretty pissed because we spent all this money just for other people to ruin the fun. My husband and I finished the week by just keeping to ourselves and trying to salvage what fun we could. But I'll be honest, I sobbed after every dinner because I was so confused about what had happened. That was 3 months ago. I haven't heard from my parents since. Before, I would talk to my mom at least once a week. I've reached out via text but never got a response. They did send a birthday card that had no return address. I sent a thank you card in the mail and mentioned it that I texted, but I didn't hear back. At this point, I'm wondering if I've been disowned. And also, am I the bitch for not trying to mend this relationship? I apologize for the long email and thank you in advance for any insight. Thank you so much, Allison. That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
I honestly can't really wrap my mind around it because it's so immature to just let so much time go by.
I know.
I'm wondering, like, are there pieces to this story that are missing? Like, they paid for the cruise and then they feel like that you're just like acting like jerks and making this joke, but it's like a joke that you made on this little game show. And maybe they, I could see how your mom might feel embarrassed in a live setting like that, like just because, oh yeah, we have a jokey relationship when it's all of us hanging out at home,
but not in front of everybody.
But in front of all these people, you said you'd send me to the moon. I mean, it's almost cartoonish. Like
it is
what they're mad about. I just can't believe so many months have gone by and you've reached out and they're not responding. This is not how parents act.
The fact that they sent you a birthday card without a return address as if you don't know where they live.
Yeah.
And also that like it's signed from mom and dad. So I'm assuming where it came from.
Yeah.
That's so, I need you to update on this. I need to know. I have to know. It's been months.
I mean, what about your brother? Like, are you not reaching out? Like, whenever there's a problem with your parents, usually you reach out to a sibling and go, can you find out what the fuck
Are they talking to your brother and the wife?
They must be talking to the brother and the wife, because the brother's wife sent the text being like, or wait, hold on, let me just.
But that was while they were on the cruise. That was them being like, because they were all together at the love and marriage.
Yes. And the sister-in-law said, I don't want to take sides and just enjoy the cruise. But then the cruise sounds like it was.
No, she said she didn't want to take sides. You're right. So that has nothing to do with the brother. So it has everything to do with the love and marriage. And that's nuts. I mean, and maybe it's just because my family is so, we wear our heart on our sleeves, and I can't imagine not saying exactly how I feel because I am a psychopath in different ways. But like, what did you talk about at dinner every night? Like, was it always just like what you did every day and just pretended like none of it was happening? Which I also have to remind myself that like how many of friends of mine have like Midwest families that are like, we would never discuss something like that. And I forget that many families would never discuss something like that. But for your dad to flip you both off, say fuck you both, and to never speak to you guys ever again, I'm flabbergasted.
Saying fuck you to your kid and flipping them off in front of a bunch of people is way more embarrassing than saying I would send my mother-in-law to the moon. It's really, really confusing. And my first reaction is like, there's something else there. Your parents are having some kind of reaction to you and your husband. Like they have had some kind of deep-seated issue with you guys, and that this is like sort of a inciting incident that made them want to cut ties. Because listen, you're saying you have a family that is really hard on your sleeve. I have a parent that completely gave me silent treatment for weeks at a time, and until I would go and say, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Or let's talk about this. And then they would talk about it.
Right.
The fact that you have then reached out and the texts have gone ignored. Have you tried to ask your brother what's going on?
I guess my question to you is, because you asked, are you the bitch for not trying to mend the relationship? Do you want to? Because I guess my question to you, you wrote in asking about this. Is this like something that was, it does seem like it was out of absolute nowhere, but was it? Like, if you think going back through things, was this like a straw that broke the camel's back for your parents, for something that you maybe had no idea that they were feeling, that there was much more to this situation than what you thought? Because if this is something that you do want to, like if you're asking the question,
she says we've always been pretty close.
I'm just saying, I talk to my mom also. I talk to my mom like 3 times a week. And if this happened to me, I would personally get on a plane and show up at the front door.
What the fuck is
what
going
the fuck
on?
is happening? What is
happening?
But I would I would want that. Not if you were like, you know what? Fine. Like, if you're like, all right, if this to you is something that you do not want to,
this behavior on its face is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
It's insane. You ruined an entire trip over like a joke. I mean, that, in my opinion, could have been a way more off-color joke. You could be able to get past.
But I think that's why I would go there. I think like for me that I would be so flabbergasted that I'd be like, it has to be something. You must discuss
what is your
this
brother
with me.
When your brother says, why aren't you talking to Kara? Why are your parents not? Are they saying something to your brother? Like, why isn't he getting any intel? Like, and if it's one of these things where, well, my parents don't want to talk about it with my brother, and my brother doesn't want to talk about it with me, then you're not as close as you guys thought. You guys are a family that has a lot of closed doors, and this doesn't make you feel. I have to assume, because it would make me feel safe in my family, that a little joke that one of us could say could just completely make you cut ties. Like,
for months?
This behavior is fully unacceptable. And unless there's a layer to this that you're not including, I can only go what I'm seeing here.
Right, that if she feels like it, like if your parents believe they deserve an apology about something, how the fuck are you supposed to apologize for it if you don't know what it is?
Yeah, like you're not the bitch because it sounds like you're saying I'm not trying to mend the relationship, but you are. You've sent a couple of texts. I mean, maybe that's not enough. Maybe you should call. Maybe you should fly there. Maybe that's more of the full mend.
If you want to, though, because maybe you're also like, fuck you then. Fine, go feel that way. You're going to do this. But you're going to literally destroy the family over love
this?
and marriage, like dating game trivia.
Bizarre. It's so bizarre. I don't understand. Please send us a follow-up and maybe give us a little bit more info because I think this behavior is at face value completely unacceptable from your parents.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know like what the hell's going on here, but they owe you as your family to at least explain
it.
They don't have to forgive you.
No.
Their feelings are valid, but they owe you to explain what has made them so mad to cut you out of their life ruin a trip and cut you out of their life for 3 months and on pending.
Yeah.
And like, why isn't your brother trying to broker peace? Like, what's going on? Anyway, let's move on because we have more stuff.
We do.
That one really is.
I know. I need to know more. Please let us know.
Okay, here's one we've been wanting to do for a while, but we just never fit it in.
Thank you for calling. Who's the bitch? Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hi. So I'm wondering if I'm the bitch, but I don't think that I am. I have been corrected a couple of times. I live in Texas. I was born and raised in San Antonio, and I moved to Austin in 2009. And I was a bartender / bar manager for 13 years. And I use a lot of babe, hey, darlin, sweetheart, blah, blah, blah. But not just because of, the industry, but also because I'm a little bit my country, my family's country. I mean, the cousins have been married in like camouflage, like cummerbunds, and we hunt and like everybody, you only wear a cowboy hat and boots to a fancy event. That's just what it is. And my husband's family, same way, from East Texas. And like New Mexico. Like, we're just a little bit country. And the other day, I was working at a place where I was dealing with a musician from out of town, and I said, hey, darling, we are not a part of that department, basically, because, there was a complaint, but it had nothing to do with my department. It was a different department in my company, but we're face-to-face, like customer service based. And she whipped her head and said, do not call me darlin. That is incredibly condescending. And I said, no, it's not. I said, no, it's not. That's just the way we talk. My apologies. And then I took my break. Same thing happened not that far, like a couple of years ago, kind of, I had someone say, I'm a 33-year-old woman. I don't appreciate being called words like honey and darling. And I said, okay, have a good day. But I just feel like, I don't know. That particular person that last time that did it the other day, they actually like do country western stuff. And I don't think that means anything. And I think that you can still take offense to things. But I also think that like, it's just sort of like a culture that just seems, I don't know, seems like it's just not a thing. Just like being offended by most words. And of course, I don't mean any offense by any of the words that I say, just like when I used to yell at people, babe, and stuff. It's not like I, wanted to fuck them. Anyway, I love you guys so incredibly much. And I'm so happy that I could finally ask who's the bitch. It was always me. I mean, it was always going to be probably me, but thank you.
I love that add on to the end. I mean, it's always going to be me. I know I'm a bitch, but you know. Man.
This is funny because like I'm not from the South, so I don't do a lot of the like honey baby darling stuff.
Yes.
But
I do.
I mean, yeah.
I do a lot of that. I have a lot. And I don't know if it's just working in customer service for a long time that I'm used to calling everybody babe or darlin, or my problem is babe. I call everybody babe, say, hey, babe. And I forget that the word babe is not supposed to be called to just anybody.
Yeah.
But I just say it in the same way I say hell yeah to everything. In my everyday life, I say hell yeah to everything, even if I'm talking to a child. I forget that you're not supposed to say hell yeah to a kid.
Please.
But it's things like that it's like, but I call everybody babe in a way that I just am not thinking about the word. I'm not trying to sexualize you. I'm not trying,
right.
And it is frustrating.
It's almost like
sometimes.
you've just kind of like reclaimed, the word has changed, its meaning has changed for you. Like it doesn't mean, And I say, hey guys, and I'm almost always talking to a group of women. You know what I mean?
Babe, guys, those kind of words for me that I'm like, I promise you, I'm not trying to.
I don't think of guys as a male word, but I know that it is. And so you have to.
And I understand being upset about
it. For people who are upset. But babe, honey, sweetie, I will say, if a man does that, I want to murder them.
Unless it's an old man. Life. I feel like there's something about, oh man, you know what it is? And this, everyone may judge me. There's something about an old New York guy calling me sweetheart that I melt. I love an old, if it's not, but again, like you said, depends on how it's being
it's tone
said.
And context. Everything is tone and context.
Yes, and just like the caller, sometimes when you say, sometimes you can call someone darling in a very condescending way. We know that we can do it.
It's the bless your heart. It's the bless your heart of it all.
We know we can do it. Whether or not you meant it that way is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And I think that people, we should call people out if you are saying it in a way of like, hey there, darling. It's like, I'm not saying it like that. I'm literally looking at you as an entity and calling you babe. You are a person calling you babe.
Yeah.
But I have received pushback from that, and I always immediately go, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah.
And when someone has said something like that to me, of course, I want to crawl into an early grave when someone says something like that, because I'm like, I'm sorry, that is not what I meant at all. That is not what I meant. But it is very frustrating, especially when you're in a kind of place, especially, being from the South, that you're so used to it. And it's so a part of your zeitgeist that to go against it, you're just like, what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah.
Everybody here does this.
Yeah.
And not that I know, I understand, not that it's okay. But again, it's in context. It's how you say it to somebody.
And I think for this specific guy, you were saying it along with saying something that, or girl, I forgot who was it. It was a man or woman. Whoever got upset at you, it was because it was paired with something that they didn't want to hear. Really.
Exactly. And that's why.
So maybe it's like when you're giving somebody bad news, you maybe try to train yourself to not do that as much. But because I never want to hear I can see how it could be annoying to hear, hey, darling, that's not actually what we do here.
Sure.
Or whatever. I could see how that somebody could take that. It's also just maybe on a Thursday that person was pissed, and on a Monday they'd be fine with it. It's like
and
you could have just hit
going
somebody on a shitty day, and who fucking knows?
Exactly.
But I do think it's interesting. I put this one in here because I think it's interesting to talk about how there are different lexicons across different cultures, and I am not with friends. I'm doll, honey, baby, lady, sweetie, whatever. I'll do that with friends. But stranger, I don't do that ever. And
it's probably the right way to go about it.
But it's just not how I was raised. I wasn't even raised in a house where we said I love you until later in life. So it's we just that's just so it's just. I think everybody could give each other a little bit more grace. I think it's if you're talking to a person that called you babe, but you don't really feel like they were trying to be a jerk, relax. Maybe don't
let it
snap.
go. But there's also, every once in a while where you don't fucking call me
you
darling
just
today.
don't. I don't want
darling.
a man to call me honey. I don't want anyone in a professional setting, especially a man, to call me honey, sweetie, anything that is diminutive.
Yes.
And I think it's one thing that's it is part of where you're from, but it's also okay to re-examine where certain things from where you're from come across, like the traditions of where you're from.
Even just down to the fact that I remember when I first used to have to come out to LA to do work, I would always be so annoyed because I was like, Californians speak slowly. And it drives me fucking crazy. Because we're East Coasters.
Everything was so slow. And I was like, can this woman do my nails faster? Can this be faster? Why is this so slow?
And then you realize
you've been living in New York.
Yeah. You brought that New York culture and you're thrashing, you're up against the California culture. It's just not the same here.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. It's like in the South, maybe be a little bit more expectant of being called darlin or called sweetheart.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, but if someone says it in a way that you are not okay with, you are also completely well within your rights to say, not today and not ever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, geez. Well, sweetie darling, thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, baby girl.
Thank you for calling in, baby girl. And yeah, I mean, I feel like with all the listeners, I feel like I can be like, babe, honey, we're all friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe just at work, try to, I don't know what my advice is for you. I don't think you're the bitch. I think your cultural lexicon is the bitch, but I think also you sound like a bitch that's fun.
Yeah. You sound like our
embrace
kind of
your
bitch.
Yeah, you're our kind of bitch.
Thank you.
All right, let's do one more email.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
You've got
Hey, Jackie and Kara, I have an issue between me and my husband that has been nagging at me. Me and my husband have been together 10 years and have 3 children together. I have known I was bisexual since high school. However, I have never had a relationship with a woman, blame living in a hard red state and semi-denial of it in my college years.
Understand.
I never really hid it, but when I came out officially to my husband a few years into our relationship, he had a difficult time with it. Not homophobic in any way, but in a I'm scared you won't get all your needs met type of way.
Understandable.
And he eventually grew to accept it and moved past those fears. So I thought. Fast forward to the last few years, I have been much more open about my sexuality and expressing it. My husband was all for it and would often bring up the topic of, quote, adding a third, sometimes in a joking manner, like when seeing a hot picture of Rhea Ripley. I don't know who that is, but you probably do. LOL. But other times he would bring up having my best friend as a third in a more serious manner.
Wrestler. Sorry, I just looked at Rhea Ripley. And
yes. I actually looked her up when I read this first and she's a wrestler. Yeah. Okay. But other times he would bring up having my best friend as a third in a more serious manner. This I absolutely shut down and have told him repeatedly that I don't want to talk about my friend in that way and value our friendship too much to possibly fuck it up by having a sexual relationship with her. Also, like, just because I'm bi doesn't mean I want to bang everyone. At first I was hesitant to the idea, but then came around to the idea of exploring a side of my sexuality I had never explored. Not with anyone we know, but with a no strings attached kind of situation. So I decided to have a serious conversation with him about it, hoping to suss out how he felt and set possible ground rules, and it blew the fuck up. He freaked out, said I, quote, broke his heart by suggesting it, and said I reinforced his fears that he, quote, wasn't enough. I felt so bad for making him feel that way. I reassured him I would never do anything without his consent and was just wanting to have a conversation about it. Ever since our conversation, I have never brought it up again because it went so poorly. However, he continues to make these quote unquote jokes about my close friend, despite me saying I don't like them and it makes me uncomfortable. The more I think about it, the more it honestly pisses me off. Like I have to tiptoe around his feelings and can't even have a conversation about my sexuality without hurting him, but he can routinely bring it up when it suits his own fantasy. Like my bisexuality is just a toy for his own desires, and I can't even start to have a conversation without wounding him and making him think I'm wanting to be unfaithful. So IDK guys, am I the bitch for making him feel I was looking outside the relationship, or is he the bitch for not being clear enough about his actual feelings? I was hoping Jackie, as a fellow bi queen in a heterosexual relationship, could weigh in on this situation. Thank you for staying with me. I know this was a long one. Love you guys and love the show.
I'm not saying that his feelings are not valid, but what I am saying is that your feelings are valid, and it is unfortunate that you got shot down when you were finally able to talk about what you needed to talk about.
Yeah.
And that's what's not okay. It has nothing, even, he is valid in feeling the way that he feels, and that is completely understandable. But having any conversation in a marriage that is immediately just shut down, like something that you need to talk about, something that is a big topic that needs to be discussed, for it to be shut out like that is not okay. It's understandable to have that reaction. It's, and also completely valid to feel that way, but it is how you go forward after that and communicate through it that shows how much he's willing to meet you to be able to talk about your, not your wants, your needs. And you were just broaching a subject, and for him to flip out in that capacity is not all right.
Yeah, you guys have been together for 10 years and have 3 kids together. You cannot just go, baby, no want to talk about this. Like, you have to just
especially when you're gonna keep jokey about this. That is where
not cool.
That is where I think a lot of my upset about this situation is immediately coming in from.
Yeah,
that it puts you as someone that I completely understand where it was scary to talk about being bisexual for a large portion of my life, and for you to do the work to be at a place to be able to talk about it, and for you to immediately be put back into that box. I just want to hug you right now.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that it doesn't mean that this conversation needs to stop. That is the opposite of what
I
this
think
is.
Actually what my advice is too, and you probably don't know if you care about my advice, because I'm also just a hetero.
But this is also a communication. I mean, this is a communication issue as well.
And because I think you go, all right, I realize this is making you upset. Let's stop the conversation for now and let's talk about it again in a couple weeks. And then I think you have to keep bringing it up. If this is something that you really need, you need to say to him, like, look, this isn't going to go away. This is something I need. So let's talk about ways in which maybe this could make you feel comfortable, such as maybe bringing in a third, right? Like,
I don't even know if you go directly to that. I think you still need to broach how do we, you shut me down and shut me out.
Yeah.
When I came to you with something that was very vulnerable and difficult for me to talk to you about.
Yeah.
And that's what's not, it's like, we're not even talking about, and the fact that
because he's turning the tables and making it all about him. He's saying your vulnerability and the difficult of you talking about this honestly pales in comparison to me feeling cucked.
Right.
Or whatever, or potentially cucked.
But then still making your jokes because obviously he's uncomfortable about the situation.
Yeah, the jokes are him expressing
him
his
being uncomfortable about it, not wanting to talk to you about it. And this is something that needs to be discussed.
Yeah.
And how he handled it needs to be, and how he's currently handling it needs to be discussed. So maybe it is going to him and saying, I would like to discuss how the whole thing blew up. I'd like to talk to you about where I'm coming from and what it took me
That's the good
to
first
talk
step.
to you about this. And just, I want you to know where I'm coming from, because I think that so much of this, that especially specifically in this kind of situation where I've talked openly with Jeff about these things where, we openly talk about the fact that I am attracted to women, but it is always a rolling conversation of if you feel that this is something that you would like to go out and explore, it's the conversation's never closed.
Yeah.
As of right now, I am not looking for anything else.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to add a third. I'm not looking for any of those things. But he is aware of but we are going to continue because every person grows and changes through a relationship.
Yeah.
It's not a one and done. This conversation is not oh, great, done. We had it. This is the beginning of a huge conversation.
It's a huge conversation
between
That's the
you
thing.
two.
Because the reason I was even saying it's he doesn't need you don't it sounds like you're already trying to say I would never do anything without your consent. I would never, but he's not really hearing that. And so he's just kind of shutting down, being you're breaking my heart, you're breaking up with me, you're going to cheat on me. Grow up. Let's have a conversation.
I've spiraled before. I mean, I think we've all been in that place before where you're oh God, you're just going to leave. Oh God. Because it seems like your husband is having self-worth issues right now, because listen to what he's saying about all of this stuff, and it's about you leaving it. It's not even about, it doesn't seem, at least in this email, about you specifically having sex with women. It's about you leaving him.
Yeah, and I want to point out one part of your email where you said, am I the bitch for making him feel like I was looking outside of the relationship? At my summer camp, we we sort of like followed this thing called choice theory, which is that like nobody really makes you feel anyway.
Right.
You're always like taking in information and then processing it and deciding how to feel.
Correct.
So him feeling like you're looking outside of the relationship is not what you're saying. It's not what you're suggesting.
And you didn't make him feel that either.
So you didn't make him feel that. That's a conclusion he's jumping to.
He chose it.
For that reason, I want you to put that aside and go, you're not the bitch. Don't feel like you're the bitch because you're making him feel this way. He's feeling a certain way because he's not talking through and communicating with you about what you're actually saying and how he feels about it. If his feeling is, I could never allow you to be with another person and stay married to you, then you move on with that. Then that's the discussion. Can you stay married without ever exploring this part of your sexuality? Can he see himself to reevaluating this if you guys worked on it together and went to some therapy or participated in some like group sex or something? I don't know. Like maybe there's some ways that he could get to feeling more comfortable and that you're going to keep coming back to him even when you explore these things, you know? And maybe you're not. Maybe you're going to fucking leave. I don't know. You're definitely going to leave if it's a guy that just fucking shuts you down every time you talk about something that's vulnerable.
Right. That's the definite of anyone that's going to treat you like that and just end of conversation because they've decided the conversation is over. That's not okay.
Yeah.
You still need to finish this conversation. You both do. This is, I imagine this is going to really put itself in many other aspects of your relationship until it is worked through.
Yeah.
And because it is an important part of who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you for getting to the place that you're even talking about what you might need, about what you could explore, because even getting to that place is very difficult. And I'm very proud of you for doing that. And thank you so much for writing in. And I hope that you guys, and I mean, I would recommend couples counseling if that is something that you were able to do, especially because you might not have the time with the 3 kids around to take it to be able to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean.
And because like this is the kind of conversation that like I feel like it's like, can we like go out to dinner and talk about these things, or can we go somewhere and sit and talk where the kids are not? You know, it's just us talking about this.
Yeah, no outside interference and stuff. Yeah, because, you know, he's of course allowed to have boundaries, but he's not allowed to just shut you down on these kind of things. Like, I know my husband would not be okay with me being like, I'm going to go hook up with a girl, but it doesn't have anything to do with you. And he would not be okay with that.
No.
He's more than happy to do a threesome. More than happy. Has literally lit up at the idea of it. Like, it's not a problem. So everybody has their stuff, you know, you can talk about. And
because even the fact that he keeps making the quote unquote joke about you and your best friend, not that I'm really trying to like armchair psychologize this.
This is literally insecurity.
Of course.
Like to the max.
Between that and also it's like, notice he keeps making the quote unquote joke about someone he knows.
Yeah.
And it's like also like, strangers is what he's scared of, I imagine. You know, bringing in someone of like, you don't know how they're going to react.
It's just not okay for him to be joking about something also that you kind of kept inside for such a long time and was like a huge secret for you. And then you sort of let him in on it. And then he's like, I'll joke about it whenever I want. Whether or not he's fantasizing about it or not, he's joking about something that when you actually try to talk about it seriously, he fucking shuts down. That's not okay.
Yes.
Not okay at all.
Not
so
okay.
I let us know how it goes.
Please do.
I hope you get what you need. Listen, I can't believe it. Another freaking hour has flown by.
I know. I don't know how we do it.
It's like, I think we maybe spent too much time on Tom Cruise at the top.
I needed to tell you about the fish fucking. I'm sorry.
He's my number one fish fucking bitch.
Yeah.
You guys, we love you so much. Thank you, everybody who writes to us. We're trying to get to all of your submissions. We obviously love a short voicemail. We can't play voicemails that are like 3 to 4 5-minute parts. It's simply not going to work. But if you can send us a succinct message about your quandary, we'd love to hear it. At who'sthebitch.com has all the ways. Also, Who's the Bitch LPN. We're doing bitchlets on there. Small, succinct, short little answers to some of your questions. And
We love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Who's the Bitch. Don't forget to go over to who'sthebitch.com. Do you have a bitchuation? Let us know about it. Hit us up. You can DM us over on the Instagram, Who's the Bitch LPN. You can email us, leave us a voicemail. We love hearing from you, and we love telling you if you're the bitch or not. And oftentimes, not a lot of bitches writing in, but we love to stick it to you if you want us to.
Yeah, write us in with something where you think you were actually like a huge bitch. I want to hear about it. Sometimes we do get those, but they're too long or too complicated or they don't make sense, So I really want to hear when I want to talk to some bitches.
Hell yeah. We love you, bitches. And we will be back next week. And I can't wait to hear what we're bitching about soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.